Igniting change. The power of call to action in social movements. In the heart of every transformative movement lies a single, decisive force, the call to action. Whether it's urging individuals to sign petitions, volunteer their time, or donate resources, these appeals serve as catalysts for collective effort. Their power rests not merely in persuasion but in the ability to unite disparate voices into a unified demand for progress. A well-crafted call to action doesn't simply ask, it compels, inspires, and empowers. For activists and advocates, mastering this art is not optional, it is foundational to turning passion into impact. Let's explore how these calls shape history and why they remain indispensable tools for social change. The foundations of a powerful call to action. To understand the essence of a call to action, we must first dissect its core components. At its simplest, a CTA is a directive aimed at prompting a specific behavior. However, in the realm of social justice and activism, it carries far greater significance. A successful CTA bridges the gap between awareness and action, transforming passive observers into active participants. This transformation hinges on several key principles. Clarity defines whether the message resonates or confuses. Urgency instills a sense of immediacy, pushing people beyond hesitation. Lastly, relevance connects the cause to the individual, making them feel personally invested in the outcome. These pillars form the backbone of every impactful call to action. Clarity. Ambiguity kills momentum. A clear CTA specifies precisely what action is required, a signature, a share, a contribution, and removes barriers to participation. Urgency. Without urgency, apathy sets in. Emphasizing deadlines, limited time offers, or pressing issues creates a deadline-driven motivation. Relevance. People act when they see themselves in the narrative. Highlighting shared values or direct impacts ties the cause to the recipient's life. Crafting impactful calls to action. Lessons from history. History is replete with examples of calls to action that changed the trajectory of societies. From Gandhi's do or die during India's independence struggle to Martin Luther King Jr.'s plea for peaceful protests, compelling language has always been the bridge between vision and reality. Modern campaigns continue this legacy. Consider the #MeToo movement, which leveraged powerful, emotionally charged CTAs encouraging survivors to speak out. Or Greta Thunberg's Friday for Future, which turned a solitary protest into a global phenomenon by issuing a simple yet profound challenge, Skolstrej for klimatet. These examples underscore how CTAs evolve yet remain rooted in purpose. The psychology behind what motivates activism. Understanding human psychology is critical to crafting effective CTAs. People respond best to messages that align with intrinsic motivations, belonging, purpose, and legacy. When a call to action taps into these drivers, it transforms obligation into choice and compliance into commitment. Studies show that emphasizing shared identity amplifies engagement. For example, framing climate action as protecting future generations rather than just reducing carbon emissions evokes stronger emotional responses. This shift from abstract data to tangible consequence drives higher participation rates. Tailoring your message. Who are you speaking to? A generic CTA fails because it assumes uniformity across an audience. In truth, social change movements attract diverse demographics, from young students to seasoned professionals, with varying concerns and capacities for involvement. Tailoring your message to each group ensures broader reach and deeper connection. Youth-driven campaigns often thrive on digital fluency and relatability, leveraging memes, TikTok challenges, and influencer partnerships. Conversely, older audiences may prefer structured programs, peer mentorship, or in-person events that emphasize trust and face-to-face interaction. Recognizing these nuances prevents missteps and maximizes resonance. Leveraging digital platforms for amplification. Digital spaces offer unparalleled opportunities to scale the impact of calls to action. Social media, email newsletters, and video platforms enable instant dissemination to millions. Yet, effectiveness relies not on volume alone but on strategic design tailored to platform dynamics. On Instagram, visual storytelling paired with hashtags like #EndSlavery or #JusticeForAll turns posts into rallying cries. Twitter threads provide structured arguments leading seamlessly into actionable steps, while YouTube videos blend emotion and evidence to inspire. Each medium demands a distinct approach to maintain coherence and maximize influence. Data-driven refinement, measuring success beyond feel-good metrics while emotional impact is vital. Measurable outcomes guide long-term strategy. Tracking metrics such as petition signatures, event attendance, or website traffic reveals trends in engagement. These numbers illuminate what works, enabling continuous refinement of messaging and outreach methods. Tools like Google Analytics, UTM parameters, and survey software allow organizers to correlate actions taken with campaign phases. If a particular CTA garners high click-through rates but low conversions, analysis can pinpoint bottlenecks, be it unclear instructions or mismatched incentives, and address them swiftly. Fostering community. Turning individuals into advocates. Sustainable movements rely less on isolated acts of heroism and more on cultivating communities of advocates. A strong CTA does more than prompt one action. It nurtures ongoing participation through empowerment and belonging. Creating forums, workshops, or affinity groups fosters connections among like-minded individuals. Regular communication keeps energy alive, reinforcing that advocacy isn't a singular moment but a lifelong journey. When participants feel part of a larger story, they become storytellers in their own right. The ethical imperative, integrity in every call to action beyond strategy, ethics anchor every call to action in legitimacy. Trust is fragile. Once broken, it cannot easily be rebuilt. Ensuring transparency about objectives, usage of funds, and expected outcomes builds credibility that sustains long-term support. When asking for donations or labor, organizations must articulate concrete plans for resource allocation. Avoiding vague promises and instead providing timelines, benchmarks, or case studies demonstrates accountability. An ethical CTA is not just persuasive, it is honest. Evolving with the times, adapting CTAs to new challenges. No movement exists in isolation from societal shifts. Political climates, technological advancements, and cultural changes necessitate adaptive CTAs that remain relevant amidst evolving landscapes. Stagnation risks irrelevance, agility ensures continued impact. Consider how the Black Lives Matter movement adapted its messaging post-George Floyd's murder, emphasizing systemic reform over symbolic gestures. Similarly, environmental campaigns now integrate intersectionality, recognizing climate injustice as intertwined with racial and economic disparities. Flexibility enables CTAs to resonate amid new realities. Building bridges, collaborative CTAs across communities. Movements thrive on collaboration, demanding CTAs that unite diverse stakeholders. Local businesses, schools, faith institutions, and grassroots leaders can amplify reach through coordinated efforts. Joint initiatives create multiplier effects, pooling resources and expanding influence. Partnerships also mitigate burnout. By distributing responsibilities, whether funding, logistics, or advocacy roles, organizations reduce reliance on a few individuals, fostering resilience. Shared CTAs reflect collective ownership, ensuring sustainability even in times of uncertainty. The final push, overcoming common obstacles to action despite passionate intentions. Inertia often hinders progress. Fear, skepticism, and overwhelm are natural barriers that effective CTAs must confront head-on. Acknowledging these challenges candidly builds rapport, showing understanding that motivates action. Simplifying steps is another barrier buster. Instead of overwhelming recipients with multi-step processes, offering single action options, sign this letter, donate $5 lowers the threshold for entry. Gradual escalation then invites further engagement, building momentum over time. Conclusion: a call to action is more than a request, it is the heartbeat of every movement striving for justice. Its strength lies in combining clarity, urgency, and relevance, empowering individuals to rise above passivity and contribute meaningfully to change. Your next step? Begin by reflecting on the cause you champion. Identify the specific actions that matter most. Then craft a message that speaks clearly, passionately, and inclusively to your intended audience. Remember, the world waits for no one, but it thrives when inspired by the courage of those willing to act.